Every Hawaiian island is slowly sinking into the ocean. If you skip this, you'll miss the beauty that may one day disappear. Glowing beaches, volcanic cliffs, and colors that don't exist anywhere else. First, we'll uncover fascinating facts about these remote islands. And then explore the most breathtaking places across Hawaii. Hawaii isn't just a place, it's a geological miracle still unfolding. And the more you learn about it, the more impossible it seems. Here's where it gets fascinating. These islands sit in the middle of the Pacific. Over 3,800 kilometers from the nearest continent. By all accounts of geology, they shouldn't even be here. Most islands form along tectonic boundaries, where plates collide or split. But Hawaii rose from the very center of a massive tectonic plate. Formed from a single plume of molten rock bursting through the crust. It is what scientists call a geological hotspot. And that hotspot has been burning in the same place for millions of years. But here is where the mystery gets even stranger. The Pacific Plate, the giant slab of rock beneath the ocean, moves. It drifts northwest at about 10 centimeters every single year. As the plate drifts, the stationary hotspot keeps punching through. Creating a chain of islands stretching over 2,400 kilometers. The farther northwest you go, the older the islands become. Kauai is the oldest of the main islands, over 5 million years old. Oahu is slightly younger, with smoother ridges and valleys. And the Big Island of Hawaii is the youngest of them all. It is still growing today, fueled by active volcanic eruptions. Deep beneath the ocean surface, a new volcano is rising. Loihi, located 30 kilometers southeast of the Big Island, is growing. In a few 100,000 years, it will break through the waves. But as new islands rise, the older ones are destined to sink. Over millions of years, their immense volcanic weight pushes down the crust. And the relentless ocean erodes their edges, grain by grain. This is why ancient islands like Midway are now just coral atolls. Low rings of sand where towering volcanic mountains once stood. It is a slow-motion cycle of creation and destruction. The lava that built these islands is incredibly unique. When it cools, it forms a dark, magnetic rock called basalt. Some flows freeze into smooth, ropey shapes known as pahoehoe. Others cool into rough, stony, and sharp fragments called Ah. These Hawaiian names are used by geologists worldwide. But these barren black deserts didn't stay lifeless for long. Every single plant, bird, and insect had to arrive from afar. Blown by powerful winds or carried by ocean currents, or clinging to drifting debris across thousands of miles of sea. Scientists estimate that very few species survived this journey. Fewer than 1 in 100,000 species made it. But the ones that did evolved into entirely new species. Over 90% of Hawaii's native species are found nowhere else. Like the honey creepers, which evolved from a single ancestor. Developing different beaks to feed on unique flowers and seeds. Turning one immigrant species into dozens of unique ones. Even the beaches of Hawaii defy normal expectations. Some shimmer white, composed of finely crushed coral and shells. Others sparkle jet black, formed from shattered volcanic glass. And some are green, colored by olivine crystals from lava. These gemstones are born deep inside the Earth's mantle. Walk just a few miles, and the sand changes completely. The weather here is just as diverse as the landscape. On the Big Island alone, you can find 10 climate zones, stretching from tropical rainforests to freezing polar tundra. Drive just a short distance, and the climate shifts entirely. This is why locals say, if you don't like the weather, drive. But the story of Hawaii is also a deeply human one. Polynesian voyagers arrived here over 1,500 years ago. Navigating solely by the stars, winds, and ocean swells. Crossing thousands of kilometers of open, uncharted ocean. They reached Hawaii long before any modern maps existed, bringing essential crops, animals, and rich cultural traditions, and building a society deeply connected to the land. Their culture is rooted in respect for nature and community. The word aloha represents this deep, spiritual connection. The same volcanic heat that built Hawaii still powers it. Underground reservoirs of steam are harnessed for clean energy, helping the islands move toward a fully sustainable future. Yet, this beautiful paradise remains incredibly fragile. Rising ocean temperatures threaten the delicate coral reefs. and invasive species threaten the survival of native birds. The islands themselves continue their slow, silent descent. But even as the land changes, its spirit remains. Every wave carries a promise of renewal and endurance. Now, let's journey to the most breathtaking places they created. Rising straight from the Pacific, the Na Pali coast is legendary. It looks less like Earth and more like a fantasy realm. Jagged cliffs soar over 1,200 meters high. Streaked with waterfalls that vanish into the low clouds. These cliffs are constantly being reshaped by the elements, eroding grain by grain under the force of rain and surf. Every ridge tells a story of collapse and rebirth. Valleys that once crumbled are carved anew by rushing rivers. The dramatic vertical ridges feel almost impossible. A breathtaking monument to the power of natural erosion. The rhythm of Hawaii slows down at Hanalei Bay. Curving along Kauai's northern edge like a perfect crescent. A beautiful blend of golden sand and emerald mountains. The bay is shaped by rivers flowing from the peaks above. Each storm brings fresh sediment, reshaping the shoreline. This constant change means Hanalei is never the same twice. At dawn, the water lies still and reflective like glass. By afternoon, gentle waves roll in, perfect for surfers. And when the rain falls, mist wraps the bay in silver light. A place where beauty doesn't need perfection to thrive. Standing guard over the northern coast is Kilauea Point. Where a historic lighthouse rises against the endless blue. Built in 1913, it once guided ships through dangerous waters, warning mariners of the treacherous reefs and currents. Today, it serves as a sanctuary for thousands of seabirds. Red-footed boobies, albatrosses, and frigate birds nest here, filling the air with their calls and soaring wings. It marks the northernmost tip of the main islands. A place where the ocean's power is felt in every wave. A silent witness to the enduring spirit of Kauai. Hi there, we're introducing a new feature where I can read this aloud in a natural human-like voice. Hidden deep in the rainforest lies Wailua Falls, a magnificent twin cascade plunging into a deep pool. Dropping 8 meters into a misty, emerald basin. Ancient Hawaiian chiefs once leaped from the top. A ceremonial test of courage and strength. The falls are fed by Kauai's ancient river system, carving through volcanic rock over millions of years. On sunny mornings, vibrant rainbows dance in the spray. A breathtaking display of water and gravity in motion. Connecting the high mountain peaks directly to the sea. On the Big Island, Pololu Valley opens like a secret, where dramatic black sand meets the crashing northern surf. Framed by steep green cliffs rising over 400 meters. A landscape carved by ancient volcanic flows and heavy rain. You can feel the island's ancient heartbeat underfoot. The valley remains wild, untouched, and deeply sacred. Every cliff face tells a story of geological transition, where freshwater streams merge with the salty tide. A powerful reminder of the island's fiery origins. A place where the elements reign supreme. In contrast to Pololu, Hapuna Beach is bright and open, stretching nearly a kilometer along the dry Kohala coast. One of the largest white sand beaches on the island. Its sand is made of finely ground coral and shells, formed over thousands of years by the gentle surf. The water glows in brilliant shades of turquoise and blue. A popular haven for swimmers, bodyboarders, and families, where the sun shines almost every single day. On sunny mornings, vibrant rainbows dance in the spray. A peaceful paradise carved by time and tide. On the sunny western coast lies Kailua Kona, a historic town built directly on volcanic rock. Once the royal seat of the Hawaiian Kingdom. Now famous for its rich, volcanic Kona coffee. Grown in the fertile soil of the volcano's slopes. Where the air smells of roasted beans and sea salt. Blending sacred heritage with relaxed island life. A place where history is etched into the stone. Where the sunset paints the ocean in gold and red. A vibrant community rooted in ancient foundations. Towering above the clouds, is the sacred Mauna Kea, the tallest volcano on Earth when measured from its base. Rising over 10,000 meters from the ocean floor. Its peak stands 4,200 meters high. Home to the world's premier astronomical observatories, where the air is thin, dry, and exceptionally clear. For native Hawaiians, it is a deeply sacred place. The rare Mauna Kea silversword plant stands resilient in the barren volcanic soil. Astronomers see it differently, as the perfect window to the universe. More than a dozen telescopes crown its summit, watching galaxies billions of light years away. On Maui, Haleakala rises like a monument to the sun. Its name means House of the Sun in Hawaiian. A vast, silent landscape of volcanic cinder cones. The crater is actually a massive erosion valley. Carved by wind, water, and time over millennia, stretching 11 kilometers across the summit. Legend says the demigod Maui lassoed the sun here, slowing its path to give his people longer days. A place of quiet majesty and ancient power, where the silence is as deep as the landscape. The road to Hana is a journey through paradise, winding through 84 kilometers of lush rainforest. With over 600 curves and 59 bridges. Every turn reveals a new natural wonder. From cascading waterfalls to dramatic sea cliffs. The air is thick with the scent of ginger and eucalyptus. A slow, hypnotic drive, where the journey is the destination. Connecting remote coastal villages to the rest of Maui. A place where time seems to stretch and bend. An unforgettable passage through Maui's wild heart. At the end of the road lies Ohio Gulch, a series of tiered pools carved into the rock, flowing through the rainforest directly to the ocean. Where freshwater streams merge with the salty sea. Surrounded by dense jungle and dramatic cliffs. A place of incredible natural beauty and harmony. Though called 7, there are actually dozens of pools. Their numbers change with the seasonal rains. a sacred landscape protected for generations. Where the rhythm of water meets the pulse of the sea. Off Maui's coast lies the crescent of Molokini, a partially submerged volcanic crater. Now a protected marine life conservation district. With water so clear you can see 40 meters down. Back on shore, Wailea Beach offers calm serenity. A beautiful stretch of golden sand and calm water. Framed by palm trees and manicured gardens. A perfect place to watch the sun sink below the horizon. Where the ocean stays peaceful and inviting. A modern paradise built on ancient volcanic shores. On Oahu, Kualoa Ranch feels like a movie set. A sacred valley framed by steep, jagged cliffs. Once a training ground for ancient Hawaiian chiefs. Nearby, Waimea Valley serves as a living museum. A deeply historic valley, rich in native plants. Home to ancient archaeological sites and shrines. Where the air is filled with the scent of wild ginger. A place dedicated to preserving Hawaiian culture. Where the past is honored in every leaf and stone. A sanctuary of peace on a bustling island. Lanikai Beach is often called the Heavenly Sea. With powdery white sand and calm, shallow water. Protected by an offshore reef that keeps waves gentle. In this serene valley of temples stands a majestic sanctuary. A replica of a classic Japanese Buddhist temple. Built to commemorate Japanese immigrants in Hawaii. Where colorful koi fish swim in peaceful waters. A beautiful symbol of cultural harmony and peace. Hanuma Bay is a volcanic crater turned sanctuary. This coastal paradise is where the world meets the island shores. A vibrant shoreline rich in history and energy. At Pearl Harbor, a quiet memorial honors the past. A place of solemn remembrance and enduring peace. Hawaii remains a timeless miracle of fire, water, and spirit.
Think you know the truth? Drop your theory below. Hit like and subscribe to Atlas Unknown for the next mystery.